So you really have to have like an in-depth understanding of like the rating schedule, and there's a lot that goes into it. And even if you have a good understanding, it's a long process. There's a lot of times where like I was super prepared, but there was a lot of times where I was just like, am I even doing the right thing? Do I know as much as I think I know? And I didn't really have anybody guide me through the process. So whenever I got out, I did everything myself. Ended up getting 100% the first time.
Welcome to the ASVAB Domination podcast, where we help you crush the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, also known as the ASVAB, in order to achieve your dreams of serving in the United States Armed Forces. I'm your host, Mickey Gamonal, and I'm excited to share my years of experience and expertise in ASVAB preparation with you. In each episode, we'll dive deep into test material, strategies for success, and insights from military veterans and experts. Whether you're a high school student considering military service or a seasoned professional seeking to advance your career, this podcast is your ultimate guide to mastering the ASVAB and achieving your goals. Let's dominate the ASVAB together. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the ASVAB Domination podcast. My name is Mickey Gamonal, and today I am interviewing Cole Tenney with Mill to Millions. I'm very excited to have Cole on the show. His business provides benefits consulting to veterans across the nation and helps vets to maximize their benefit. But prior to that, Cole was in the Navy, actively working on F-18s, and he scored a 78 and got to pick his job. So I'm really excited to pick his brain and learn about how his service went and everything like that. So Cole, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Making me sound a little smart there too. I love
Oh, bro, I mean, a 78, I got a lot of students that would kill for a 78.
it.
So
Yeah,
you're
right.
you're crushing it, man. I think it's great. And I think it's awesome that you're helping benefits or helping veterans to achieve their benefits and maximize those benefits. I think it's a really, really cool mission statement. And I am going to get into all that, but I want to start pretty basic. I always kind of ask people their ASVAB story. So you can kind of take that and run with it however you want. But how would you say your ASVAB went down?
For sure, man. Yeah, I think, I was in depth for a while, the delayed entry program, and we had some pretty like hardcore guys that were training everyone in there, just like both with, I think even just like physically, and like we were super prepared for boot camp and everything, probably overly, like we thought we were like going to buds or something, man, I swear. So we were just so like amped up, fresh out of high school. But as far as the academic stuff too, I mean, I think they did a really good job of preparing us for it. We did like a bunch of mock tests and everything like that. So, I mean, I'm usually a horrible test taker. So the fact that I did well, I think just says a lot about those guys preparing us. So that's really all the credit goes to them, man.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. So I've had a lot of recruiters on the show, but I've never really I've talked about RSP, which is like the Reserve Sustainment Program, which is a like a National Guard thing. I haven't heard as much about the DEP. You said delayed in
Entry program, yeah.
delayed
Delayed
entry
entry
program.
program. Yeah, I
Yeah, can
think
you tell
that's
me a
what
little
they
bit
used to
about
call it. Yeah,
that?
so
Okay.
it's pretty much like, I joined in, I want to say 2014, like January timeframe. I signed up in January to leave in August. So it kind of depends on whenever your job and stuff was popping up, when
Mhm.
they had schools available. And like kind of we were talking before, I wanted to go to Pensacola with my buddy, and it was in August was the earliest that we could leave. So that was why we selected January. So for the 7 months, 8 months, we were in the delayed entry program, just pretty much training, preparing, stuff like that. I think we were kind of like unofficially in it even before that because we knew about it. We had met the recruiters and everything. So like I said, they just did an awesome job of preparing us. Took a
So
bunch of mock tests and everything.
what's it look like? Is it like you meet up on it every Wednesday at 3 o'clock for a couple hours, or is
Yeah,
that's how it is?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So everybody comes in, they got their like Navy delayed entry program t-shirts on, and we just kind of talk, about kind of the different programs, what jobs people are doing. And yeah, we would just I think we did like a couple days where we all got together and like played basketball and stuff together. So it was just kind of like a team building type thing and just kind of getting prepared. So I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know if they even still do it, but I mean, my cousin and my brother both went in after me and they used the same program. I think they both used the same recruiter too. So he was a good recruiter. So,
Hell
he
yeah.
had, he got all of us.
Shout him out. Who's your recruiter? Is he in Fresno?
Uh, no, he was in Central Illinois, McAlpine, Dan McAlpine, I think was his name. So I'll see if I can find him on Facebook or something. So because
Heck yeah.
he was a good dude.
Good recruiters are such a big deal. Like they change the whole game for sure. And bad recruiters do the same, right? Just in a negative direction. So I think it's great that you got to practice and got to kind of train up and kind of know what you're getting into when you go to basic training or boot camp, I guess is what you guys call it
Yeah,
over there. You
100%.
do y'all swim? Does the Navy have you guys swim in basic training? You
Yeah,
have
we
to,
do
right?
like we jump off like a little diving board. I think it's like 10 or 15 feet, and then you can just pretty much like backstroke all the way around. It's not very intense.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, that's pretty cool. I had a so my one of my most recent guests was prior service Navy, and he went to basic training with me. And what they told me while we were in basic training, I don't know if it's because the branches, there's a lot of it's not infighting. I don't know what it is. Sibling rivalry, we'll call it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so he was like, I'm so surprised by how much freedom we get during our basic training. Because he said in Navy's boot camp there's like consistent oversight, like 100% of the time you were always watched. Was that your experience or
Yeah, for
yeah?
sure. Yeah, there was really I don't think there was really any like free time at all. Other than well, at night. We had some at night, but by then, man, I feel like you were so tired. It was pretty much like maybe hit like a little some of people would like hit a workout or something like that, but I think we had like a couple arm wrestling tournaments here and there, but nothing like yeah, that was pretty much it, man. It was always at night. So
Okay. Very cool, very cool. No, that's tight. And how about your buddy? Is your buddy so you joined with a friend, which I think
yeah,
is awesome, right?
yeah.
Things are always better with buddies. Is he still in? That's what I was gonna ask. Is he still serving?
No, we both did 5 years and got out. So we went to Pensacola together. We got stationed in Virginia together. And then I went and I was in San Diego for like 2.5 years. And then actually got sent back to Virginia. And we were roommates for the last like I think 18 months or so. I mean, I was gone on deployment and stuff the whole time. So we never really hung out too much. But yeah, we were roommates and everything until we both got out. So
Nice. That's cool. That's cool. I have soldiers out here in California, and the roommate thing at that age is like a really good time because
yeah,
you're getting your independence and you get to choose what you want to do. So that's cool.
exactly.
So tell me about Mill to Millions. I understand you guys help vets maximize their benefits. Can you tell me a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, 100%. So really it was just something that I started doing after I got out. I got out, went through the whole process myself, and thankfully I kind of just like obsessed over it and kind of nerded out on the whole process and learned the ins and outs. I actually worked with like a lot of contractors in San Diego that had all been through the process as well. And so they kind of got me started, like just the gears turning on like how it actually works. Cause I think people just have no clue how it works. Like it's just you think you go in saying, "Hey, I have this issue," and they just are like, "Oh, you do," and then it's like a yes or no thing. It's much more like in depth, and you really have to understand like medical and like legal stuff, in my opinion, to like get the most out of it because it is really just like they have like a big rule book for how they rate you. So you really have to have like an in-depth understanding of like the rating schedule and there's a lot that goes into it. And even if you have a good understanding, it's a long process. There's a lot of times where like I was super prepared, but there was a lot of times where I was just like, am I even doing the right thing? Do I know as much as I think I know? And I didn't really have anybody guide me through the process. So whenever I got out, I did everything myself. Ended up getting 100% the first time. And then I, asked a couple of my buddies, I was like, hey man, you want me to help you out? I'll kind of walk you through, show you what I did. And, got really good results for them, had a good experience. And so it really just kind of took off from there, started helping people just kind of as like a consultant. And then I got connected with doctors and medical stuff. So now we're really like full service. We're not only able to kind of walk through people through the process, we're actually able to provide, medical type of, consulting and evidence that people need. So they're accurately rated.
Nice. That's awesome. Is it fulfilling? Do you enjoy that kind of work?
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. No, it really is. Like that's probably why I've continued to do it so much because it is like a very polarizing topic, or it can be. A lot of people feel like companies like ours shouldn't exist, which I totally understand. But, I think just loving helping guys and the guys who appreciate it really do appreciate it. So it kind of makes up for everybody that's like, kind of upset with what we do, I guess. So yeah, it's very rewarding, and the guys that we work with, they totally appreciate it. And I build relationships with almost everybody that comes through our doors. So it's been awesome.
Oh yeah. No, I love it. I mean, you're making real impact for sure. Like there is no question in my mind that if you take someone who is trying to get a VA claim and is unable to do it on their own and then switch it to now they have that VA claim pushing out even 60% or whatever,
Yep.
that's so much more than nothing. So that's a huge impact. And I think it's great that you that you mentioned the trolls out there. There is truth, right? Like we wish military took care of their own. We wish that this was the case, but there's problems. You know what I mean? Like this isn't the perfect organization. Anybody who's been in the military will tell you there's toxic, it can be toxic leadership. It's not all like that, but it
Right.
exists. And so I think it's great that you acknowledge it. And it's so many. I know when I first started doing my ASVAB stuff, I had somebody who was like, "You're taking money to from kids to get them better scores." And it's always somebody who doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
always gonna
Exactly.
be somebody
Exactly.
who's got nothing going on. They just have this big superiority of like
Hmm.
what proper etiquette is and how people should be, but not actively making any difference. So yeah, I think it's great, man. I think it's a huge leg up that you're doing that to help, help your brothers and sisters out there in the military because it's complicated. So I think it's awesome.
No, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. Everybody's just gonna try to tear you down. It's just how it goes. So it's the nature of the beast, man. Anytime you're doing your own thing, it just happens. So that's crazy what that even happens with the ASVAB stuff. It's
Oh,
like,
even with the ASVAB, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've got success stories of people who go warrant, who people who get commissioned, and like there are tangible benefits, not just in, the amount of money that they're receiving, but the amount of potential, right? If you take
yep,
somebody who could have enlisted as an E2 and put them in at an O1, their life is
yeah.
completely different.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's huge difference for sure. And even I mean, like just the jobs after, you know what I mean? Like your career path after the military. It's like instead of I was a jet mechanic, I was like, I was a lead officer. I don't even know what the terminology is for it, but just
Yeah.
basically like, even a lower ranking officer, I feel like on paper probably looks a lot better because you probably have more leadership experience, better training, and it just looks better. Like you said, for the rest of their life, it's not just a short term thing. So that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean it snowballs on itself. And the same is going to be true of our veterans too. You take somebody who gets out. I mean, you told me I'm going to say how old you are, but you got out and you're under 30 and now you have a veteran assistance claim, indefinitely. Like that's going to change your life
Yeah.
every single month for the rest of your life. So,
Yep.
and
No,
that's you.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's before you start talking about all the people that you're helping.
Yeah,
So,
I know, man. Yeah. No, I tell people all the time, I mean, it's kind of almost like the proof, right? Because it's like, because I went through and I did the process right, I'm able to do this and now help you. So it's like, it's almost like there's the proof right there is like, this is all I do. Like, I'm not working like a normal job and then I get off and like help vets on the side. Like, this is my full-time job. Like, we have like 8 employees. Like, it's a like legitimate business. Like, I'm really taking it serious, and you know, it's kind of showing. So yeah,
yeah, no, and to those that are holier than thou, those guys who, get that righteousness, like, one of my favorite businesses is Tom's Shoes, and they're a for-profit business, but they give a
yeah,
pair for every pair that's purchased. And I think there's some sock company out there that does it now, but these are for-profit businesses. And there's a benefit to that for-profitness of that business. I mean,
yeah,
it just goes out and achieves more. And I got nothing but love for nonprofits. I did Peace Corps, from 2014 to 2016. So
uh,
I did AmeriCorps. I'm a big believer in like community service and giving back. However, if you can capitalize on making the world a better place, all that does is make you more focused on making the world even better. So I think there's a lot of benefit there for sure.
yeah, absolutely. And I've been lucky enough to hire almost exclusively. I mean, 90% of our team are all vets as well. So I mean,
Okay.
it's like, everybody sees kind of the mission statement, and then it's like I have people that I served with, people coming out of everywhere that's like, hey, I want to work with you guys, and stuff like that. So it's really cool that it's it's mainly anybody that you talk to, any client facing roles inside of our business, they're all vets, probably 100% vets. Like they've all been through the process, maybe in their own ways. So like the experience is awesome. And it's not just a private company that's just doing this to make money. It's like truly is like veterans helping veterans. I hate saying that, but it is what it is. Like it sounds cliche, but that's 100% what it is. So we kind of like embodied that. And I honestly didn't even do that on purpose. Like it's just kind of happened. Like people that have reached out and people I've gotten in contact with, it's like they're all vets too, and it just works out that way. So it's been awesome.
I love that. Yeah, that's great. I mean, what a cool thing to be a part of. So tell me a little bit more about your team. You say you have consultants. It sounds like you have medical professionals as well. Kind of give me the lowdown on what you guys do. Like let's say that I were a veteran and I reached out to you guys and I said, "Hey, I'm trying to get my VA claim off the ground." What would you guys do?
For sure. Yeah. So really we have like our sales guys that are going to walk you through the whole gamut. Again, vets, they've been through it. They're really just to turn you from a prospect into a client, right? And just kind of make sure that you're a good fit and they'll review some of your stuff and whatnot. So they'll walk you through kind of the initial stuff. And then from there we have account managers who essentially are your point of contact throughout the whole process. So we call them customer success managers because they're pretty much directly, all their KPIs and everything are in line with people having success in our program. And then, yeah, it's just from there, the only other people that you would really work with are just going to be doctors that are going to be helping you put together your strategy and the medical side of things.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's kind of an overview of it.
And your doctors are based in San Diego? Do your clients have to get to San Diego in order to get these benefits or to
No,
maximize
they're
their
they're
benefits?
they're everywhere. It's all telehealth remote, so you don't have to leave your couch.
Wow, that's awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool. Jeez. And how long have you guys been at it? How long have you been doing this?
I was doing it myself for like 3.5 years. And then the partnerships with like the doctors and the medical side has been 7, 8 months.
Okay.
So really, like once we solidified that, it was the first couple of years where you're trying to just throwing things at the wall, trying to get them to stick, and then this was something that stuck. And since then, it's been like just completely taken off. Kind of became its own something that's like even bigger than me. So it's really been cool to see the growth and the impact that we're having now that we've solidified those key partnerships. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. That's great. Well, cool. No, and then where can people find out more about what you guys do?
Yeah, I'm at Mill to Millions pretty much everywhere, I think. Mainly Instagram and YouTube. So we actually just put out in the last 2 weeks, we put out two like client interviews, people that had 100%. It's like a full 15, 16-minute interview with those guys, kind of talking about their experience in the program and would they recommend it to their friends and stuff like that. So yeah, we've been trying to grow the YouTube channel a lot. So definitely check us out there.
Heck yeah. And can you tell us a little bit about your success stories, like people that you've helped?
Yeah, so those most recent ones, Max and Brandon, both were younger guys that just got out of the military. Actually, Brandon used the DAV as well, which I thought was kind of cool. It was a little bit of a different, I guess, way because sometimes people think that companies like ours are totally against like free services, and it's like we're not at all, man. We're here to help you get results any way you can. So I think some people like the telehealth and remote aspect of it, but also some people like being in person and having somebody to sit down with. So I think it was awesome that he kind of took advantage of that. But yeah, with both those guys, we were able to really just put together the strategy needed to get the results, and they both got 100% their first time up. So they kind of talk about their all the benefits, their kids going to college for free and stuff like that. So definitely some good videos. I would definitely check those out.
Awesome. Can I ask you, because I don't know, what is the dollar amount if you're hitting 100%? It's based on rank, right?
So it's based off of how many dependents you have. So a
Okay.
single a single guy is going to be roughly 3,800, 3,900 a month. If you're married with kids, it's like 4,250 or something like that. So roughly 4,000 a month. And that's all tax free. It's all, that's for the rest of your life. And then obviously all the benefits as well. So Champ VA and insurance and healthcare and all that stuff's covered as well, which is huge.
Right, right. Insurance. I mean, I'm in the National Guard now because of TRICARE, right? That's one of the big draws for
Yeah.
me is I can have as many kids as I want. My insurance premium is going to stay about the same as opposed to a
Yeah.
job where it just eats and eats at your check
Yeah.
every single month.
Yeah,
So
that's huge.
yeah, that's a big game changer. What is Chat VA? What's that one? That's like a quick telehealth type thing.
Yeah, Champ VA is going to be the health benefits for your, or the insurance for your family. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, yeah, it's like kind of it's typically used as a secondary because getting as a primary, you have to apply and everything. We actually just went through this with the birth of my daughter. So, it's definitely, it's a little bit more of a process. I typically recommend you have some kind of primary, but if you absolutely need it as a primary, you can definitely use it. So it can be primary insurance. And what I meant to say was Chapter 35, which is essentially a GI Bill for all of your dependents. So you get that at 100%. It's actually how we know somebody's permanent and total, 100% P&T. Maybe you've seen that before. Basically just means like you'll never get downgraded or anything like that. But Chapter 35 is 36 months of education benefits for all of your dependents. So wife, all of your kids, and it pays like a flat rate. I think it's like a 1,500 a month for, again, all of your dependents go to school. So it's like, yeah, the $4,000 a month is like what everybody focuses on, but the benefits of unlocking 100%, it's like, I mean, it's hard to even put a price tag on it. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, millions for sure, easily,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was telling my wife, I tried to do the math in my head, which is I don't recommend to all my students out there. You should always write the crap down. But yeah, I started thinking like, okay, 30 years, even 2 grand a month over the course of 30 years, that's a lot of freaking money,
Yeah.
And if you're looking at 100%, that's a lot more. And that'll change lives for sure. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. It sounds like there's way more stuff I didn't know about. GI bills for all dependents. Like that's huge.
Yeah, essentially. It's kind of a bad way to put it, but it's like I can definitely explain it more. We can chat after the call.
All right, cool. I wanted to ask, okay, one question I have, I don't know if this is a myth or fact, and hopefully you do, is if you're full and permanent, can you get another job after the military? Or are you designated unworkable or something along those lines?
No, so there's like a main difference. There's 100% permanent total, and there's the TDIU program. It's temporary. I can't exactly remember what it stands for, but
No
drawing a
worries.
blank on it. But yeah, it's TDIU, and what that does is basically like it gets you up to 100%. So a lot of people will be stuck at maybe 60 or 70%, but they might have like an extreme disability that's kind of hindering them, but they aren't getting the compensation to make up for the work, right? Like 60, 70% is only maybe like 1,600 versus 4,000. So what TDIU does is it allows you to get paid at the 100% rate, but it does like there are stipulations around your employment. So you can only work like specific jobs, stuff like that. But for the vast majority of people, 100% doesn't affect you at all. It really gets down more to like if you have, if you're trying to be a pilot, it's like the most common one. If you're trying to be a pilot, you probably shouldn't have 100% for like PTSD, or you probably shouldn't have like severe sleep apnea if you're going to be a pilot. So it's kind of a case by case thing. I think it is like a major myth that like if you have 100% you can't have a job. That's definitely not true at all. I know back to the contractors, most of those guys were 100% and they were doing the exact same job that they were doing in the military. So it really doesn't hinder you at all. And for most of my guys, I say, would you rather have the money for the rest of your life, or would you rather not be able to be a pilot? So it's kind of, if you want to be a pilot, go for it. But it's
Yeah,
kind of you got to take it's kind of a risk thing. So
I got you.
yeah.
No, that's cool. I was in Bullock, right? Basic officer leadership course where they send us officers to learn how to do jobs, right? Because for OCS, you don't really learn a job, right? And then so they send you to Bullock afterwards. And all those guys are contractors, right? They all did
Yeah.
their 20 and then they retired so that they could get their 50%, right? They get their pension or
Yeah.
whatever because it makes more sense, right? Like if you're working into the 25th year, those last 5 years, you could have been making half of everything you made just for waking up in the morning, for doing no work at all.
Yeah.
And the pride these guys have in their VA claims on top of it is crazy. I had a
Yeah.
contractor go up to a whiteboard, do a circle, and say, okay, I don't remember what he said. I think he said baldness or something. Like one thing is like 50%, and then the next
Hmm.
one will get you up to 75%. And he's like showing us kind
Yeah.
of the VA math or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, like this is the kind of information that people need to know, right? Like this is life-changing information for
Yeah.
sure. More so than like a bachelor's degree can change your life, but this is it's a completely different
completely different subject. So
For sure. Yeah.
yeah, even at Bullock, this kind of information, they try to get it out, they try to make it public, but going with an organization that has a track record that does this stuff on the regular, I mean, I've tried hunting through Reddit for a piece of information. Like it's a nightmare. I'd
Yeah.
never want to do that. I
Right.
I, I couldn't pass, like if I didn't have my bachelor's degree in education, right? Like I don't think I could pass the ASVAB as well as I did. And if was left with nothing but, like YouTube and Reddit and stuff like that, I would want somebody who helps. And I think the same has to
Exactly.
be true for the VA benefits. Like it has to be because you don't want to mess that up. Is there
Yep.
is there a real danger in making a mistake in getting your VA claim magooed?
Yeah, for sure. And kind of to piggyback off what you're saying, man, like everything, at least personally in my life, everything that I've wanted to get better at or get results with, whether it's business, I guess the VA claim is my one exception with that. But that was when I learned, I learned kind of the hard way. I got lucky, I got results, but everything else in my life, man, like if I want to do something, I find somebody who's already done it and figure out a way to learn from them, you know? So I totally agree with what you're saying. Like, find people that have done it and just like get around them. So, but yeah, as far as like the claim, for sure. I mean, obviously you have potentially millions of dollars in law. Even the difference, I think I did a post about it. Even the difference between 60 and 100%, you span that out over 30, 35 years. You're talking about over $1 million in tax-free benefits that you missed out on. And that's 30, 35 years, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy to think about. So yeah, and also just not having the insurance, not having Chapter 35, the extra GI bills, stuff like that. Like, those are life-changing benefits, not only for you, but for your family and kids, man. So, I just feel like it's worth it. Like, just go through it, figure it out, like get the most out of it. I'm not saying everybody deserves 100, but I mean, get the most out of it, get what you deserve. There's more guys walking around at 30 that should be at 100 than there are guys that are 100 that should be at 30. And I think that's probably like one of the biggest misconceptions is just like, we're just helping every person get 100%, even if they don't qualify. And it's like, at the end of the day, you still have to qualify for it. Like we can help and other companies can help, but you still have to qualify for it. So, that's kind of my 2 cents on that.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, is there anything else that we didn't cover? Anything that you'd like to share?
Oh man, I don't think so. I think we kind of
No?
went over everything. Yeah.
All
Check
right.
us out on social media.
All right. Well, Cole Tenney with Mill to Millions. Check him out Instagram and YouTube. Thanks so much, Cole. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
Remember to be kind to yourself and treat yourself as a learner. Are you considering a career in the military but feeling overwhelmed by the ASVAB exam? Look no further than GamonalTutors.com for the best ASVAB prep courses. Our courses are designed by experienced instructors to help you master the best sections of the ASVAB exam, including mathematics, English, and general science. We use proven teaching methods and provide extensive practice materials to ensure that you are fully prepared on test day. With GamonalTutors.com, you'll have access to comprehensive study guides, personalized tutoring sessions, and online practice exams. Our courses are available on demand, so you can learn at your own pace and on your own schedule. Don't let the ASVAB exam hold you back from achieving your career goals. Sign up for GamonalTutors.com ASVAB prep courses today and take the first step towards a successful military career.